Genesis chapter 7. Then the Lord said to Noah, "Come into the ark, you and all your household, because I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. You shall take with you 7, each of every clean animal, a male and his female, 2, each of animals that are unclean, a male and his female, also 7 each of birds of the air, male and female, and keep the species alive on the face of the face of all the earth. For after 7 more days I will cause it to rain on the earth, 40 days and 40 nights, and I will destroy from the face of the earth all things that I have made." And Noah did according to all that the Lord commanded him. Noah was 600 years old when the flood waters were on the earth. So Noah and his sons, his wife and his sons' wives, went into the ark because of the waters of the flood, of clean animals, of animals that are unclean, of birds, and of everything that creeps on the earth. 2 by 2 they went into the ark to Noah, male and female, as God had commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were on the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, on that day, all the fountains of the great deep were broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened, and the rain was on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. Okay, cool. I like this here. Looks like water kind of came up from underneath the earth. That's what it looks like. It says here the great deep was broken up, and then water was also coming down from heaven. So that's how the earth flooded in 40 days. We also don't know the size of the raindrops here. Could be massive raindrops. On the very same day, Noah and Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them entered the ark. They and every beast after its kind, all cattle after their kind, every creeping thing that creeps on the earth after its kind, and every bird after its kind, every bird of every sort, and they went into the ark to Noah, 2 by 2, of all flesh, in which is the breath of life. So those that entered, male and female, of all flesh, went in, as God had commanded them, and the Lord shut him in. Now the Lord was on the earth 40 days. The waters increased and lifted up the ark, and it rose high above the earth. Wow, that's cool. So it rose high above the earth. And then, this is where I think about Jesus, because it's Jesus could walk on water. So even if Jesus was alive at this point, if he was sinless, because he was sinless walking on water, it's he wouldn't drown anyway. It's the waters would just come and Jesus would just be standing on the waters. It's pretty cool. I don't know, little tidbit there. The waters prevailed and greatly increased on the earth, and the ark moved about on the surface of the waters. The waters prevailed exceedingly on the earth, and all the high hills under the whole heaven were covered. The waters prevailed 15 cubits upward, and the mountains were covered. And all flesh died that moved on the earth, birds and cattle and beasts and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, and every man, all in whose nostrils was the breath of the spirit of life. All that was on the dry land died. So he destroyed all living things which were on the face of the earth, on the face of the ground, both man and cattle, creeping thing and bird of the air. They were destroyed from the earth. Only Noah and those who were with him on the ark remained alive, and the waters prevailed on the earth 150 days. Okay, so after 40 days of rain, Noah and his family and all the animals that were on there with him were in this ark for 150 days. Crazy. So 40 plus 150 is 190, so almost a year. 200 days, about 200 days. This whole event is. It's crazy. Genesis chapter 8. Then God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the animals that were with him in the ark. This remembered is, I always view these scriptures here as Noah's perspective. It's God remembered, meaning then God kind of inclined his ear, or kind of it's a poetic, the Lord remembered me. Oh, it's not it's not the Lord forgot. This is just supposed to be artsy. It's an artsy, rich way of writing. It's like, and then the Lord remembered who I was again. And it's like, you're being extra. It's not what happened. But, I mean, it's a big deal. The whole earth just exploded. So Noah was probably feeling very artsy that day. And he was like, it's like the Lord forgot who I was. And then he remembered me. Even though the Lord was like, only remembered Noah. And was like, hey, I'm going to remember Noah like before this happens and after it happens and during. But anyway, this is how it was cataloged. Then God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the animals that were with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters subsided. Interesting. A wind made the waters subside. Maybe he just like blew all the water off the earth. He was just like, screw it. Just blew all the water into space. And fountains of the deep and the windows of heaven were also stopped. And the rain from heaven was restrained. And the waters receded continually from the earth. At the end of 150 days, the waters decreased. Then the ark rested in the 7th month, the 17th day of the month, on the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, the tops of the mountains were seen. So it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made. Then he sent out a raven, which kept going to and fro until the waters had dried up from the earth. He also sent out for himself a dove, to see if the waters had receded from the face of the ground. But the dove found no resting place for its soul or her foot. So she returned into the ark with him, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. So he put out his hand and took her and drew her into his ark again safely. Then he waited another 7 days. And again he sent a dove. He sent the dove out from the ark. Then the dove came to him in the evening, and behold, a freshly plucked olive leaf was in her mouth. And that, by the way, little tidbit, that, by the way, is the reason why peace is symbolized with a dove holding an olive branch. You probably heard like the olive branch petition. This is the branch. This is the origin. This is the origins. There you go. It means peace. So a freshly plucked olive leaf in her mouth. And Noah knew that the waters had receded from the earth. It's like, yay, there would be peace on earth. Hooray. Will there be peace on earth? Find out next chapter, in chapter 9. But first, we'll finish chapter 8. Okay, anyway, verse 12. So he waited yet another 7 days and sent out the dove, which did not return again to him anymore. Wow, hang on. Wow, I'm getting some revelation. Okay, so the dove represents peace. When peace leaves him, man, and if the peace returns unto you, wow, I'm getting some craziness. But anyway, long story short, Noah's following peace. Like, he didn't have peace. Like, the peace stayed with him on the boat. The dove stayed with him on the boat. So he like waited with peace. And then when peace didn't return and like was still on the earth, Noah decided, okay, I'm going to follow peace. I think this is a good lesson. Always follow peace. Because the Lord is the Prince of Peace. Anyway, verse 13. And it came to pass in the 601st year, and in the first month, the first day of the month, that the waters were dried up from the earth. And Noah removed the coverings of the ark and looked, and indeed the surface of the ground was dry. And in the 2nd month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth was dry. Then God spoke to Noah, go out of the ark, you and your wife, and your sons wives with you. Bring out with you every living thing of all flesh that is with you, birds and cattle and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, so that they may abound on the earth, and be fruitful and multiply on the earth. Always God's heart. Look at that. God's like, here's what I want you to do. Eat, reproduce. Be fruitful, produce, and reproduce. It's like funny. He's like saying like be fruitful and multiply on the earth. He's basically saying like eat and like have sex, bro. Like it's like what God? What? That's what you want me to do? And he's like, yes, that's my will. My will is for you to increase. And I'm like, that's so cool. I feel so loved. Anyway, okay, verse 18. So Noah went out, and his sons and his wife, and his sons' wives with him. Every animal, every creeping thing, every bird, and whatever creeps on the earth, according to their families, went out of the ark. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and took of every clean animal and every clean bird, and offered burnt offerings on the Lord. And the Lord smelled the smoothing aroma. Then the Lord said in his heart, I will never again curse the ground for man's sake, although the imaginations of man's heart is evil from his youth, nor will I again destroy every living thing, as I have done. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, winter and summer, and day and night shall not cease. Ooh. All right, that's the end of chapter 8. And this last verse here, just want to say, this is like the start of the seasons, cold and heat, winter and summer, and day and night. This is where it starts. All right, guys.